Hello friends, my name is Nanook Metal and today I would like to talk to you about the stealth build that I use in Payday 2. The reason that the video is called Advanced Stealth Build is because I'm going to be opting out of using some of the equipment in favor of other things, and the main reason for that is because I don't like switching builds. I just want to have one build that will work with any stealth heist, and I know that I will be able to bring all the things that I require. Let's start with the Mastermind tree. The only skills I get are in the controller subtree. First skill, get on basic. Forced friendship. All you need it for is the extra zip ties, and being able to tie the civilians faster makes you a little bit more effective with crowd control. The next skill is the confident, and you can get it on aced. It's not a necessary skill though, and what it allows you to do is to convert 2 enemies, intimidate 2 guards into your custody. So sometimes it comes in handy when you don't want to shoot a guy, but you just want to make sure he doesn't shoot back, so you can just shout him down the moment he detects you, and then you'll be able to reply to his pager, and from there on you can think about what you're going to do with him. The last skill that I would highly recommend you to get for particular heists such as the Go Bang and maybe the Bang heist as well is the Stockholm Syndrome. Just get it on basic, you don't need to get it on aced. And what it does on basic is that when you make noise with a loud weapon, it could be any weapon, it could be a saw, the civilians will become intimidated. Basically they will go down on the ground, they won't try to run away, they won't try to raise the alarm, and they won't try, to call the cops or push panic buttons, such as in the Bang heist. However, once again, it is not a 100% necessary skill. If you don't have enough skill points, don't go for any of these skills. There are much better ones to get, and I'll get to them shortly. In the Enforcer skill tree, I go for the Underdog and get it to basic to allow me to get to these 2 skills. I would ace shotgun CQB and just get the far away on basic, and these are the shotgun skills. I use a judge shotgun as my secondary weapon because you can boost bodies with it and it is very useful in stealth. You can get down to very low low detection risk of 3, and these skills will allow you to reload the judge shotgun faster, and also it increases the range. Sometimes it does come in handy when there are civilians who walk out of the range of the map and you don't have another weapon to get them with. Having that increased range does help. Get these skills only if you have access to the locomotive or the judge shotgun, otherwise you don't really need them. Let's move on to the tank subtree. The resilience is there just to allow me to get to the transporter and get transporter on basic. What it allows you to do is to throw bags further. You don't need to ace the transporter anymore. A much more useful skill is going to be the portable saw, so I'm just gonna get the scavenger to get me to the portable saw, ace that, and the portable saw is necessary for stealth heists where you're going to be using the saw, where there are deposit boxes or perhaps there are a lot of doors or cages or something that you need to saw through. A good example would be the Bang heist, the Big Bang, Shadow Raid as well. There are cages there that you can saw through, and so you don't have to drill through them. Once again, if you don't have enough points, you don't have to go for it. As long as you can get a silent motor mod on your saw, that should allow you to get started with the saw. And by the way, if you want to see a detailed tutorial on using a saw in stealth heist, check the top right corner. I'll put a card there. Just follow that link and it will tell you everything you need to know about using the saw in stealth. Let's move on to the technician, and this is where I'm going to spend quite a lot of points. This is probably the second most spent skill tree, and one of the first skills that I need to get is the Jack of all trades. It will allow you to bring 2 equipment deployables. So for example, I can bring body bags and ECMs, or I can bring body bags and ammo bags, and the ammo bags will feed the saw when you're opening the deposit boxes. This will be highly useful. The sentry skills are there just to, once again, get you to the Jack of all trades. You will not really benefit from them. The next skill that I always find quite useful in various stealth heists are the drill skills, and you can get all of them. You can just go for the bottom 2 if you don't have extra points, but Kickstarter does come in handy. In Kickstarter, what it does is when you punch a stuck saw, you have a 50% chance and 1 attempt at restarting it. It does come in handy, does sometimes save time, but it does not work every single time. So if you want to spend the extra couple of seconds repairing the drill, it's completely fine. to not get this skill. This skill here though will silence your drill, and sometimes it can play against you. Maybe you want to use some guard abuse, you want to get a guard frozen or something like that. So you might not want to get this skill because if you have a silence saw, it won't attract any guards. The drill sergeant just basically increases the time of the drills, makes them more efficient, but it's a pretty straightforward skill. Going into the ghosts, and this is where the majority of points you will usually spend. And as you can see, I have opted out of acing the ECM skills because right now I try not to bring ECMs. I usually bring body bags and maybe an ammo bag if I have the saw, or I bring the second ECM as a secondary equipment with me, but I try not to rely on it. It's not really important. It adds to the challenge of stealthing, you know, when you don't have this backup of falling back to ECMs and running away. However, I would still recommend you to get Nimble aced, and what it allows you to do is to loop the cameras and also lockpick doors faster. Comes in very handy, especially in times where you can't use the saw. Perhaps like in Shadow Raid, behind a door there is a camera guard, so you can't really use a saw there. You have to lockpick it, but also you want to lockpick that door quickly because otherwise guards or civilians will walk and encounter you, so you don't really want to be stuck there. It will also allow you to lockpick safes. Once again, it's not a super useful skill on Deathwish because most of the time you will encounter Titan safes, but there are times where even on Deathwish difficulty you will have lockpickable safes. Moving down, the cleaner skill will allow you to bring more body bags and will give you extra slots for body bags, as well as allow you to bring 2 body bag cases with you as equipment instead of 1. Overall, a very useful crowd control skill. You can tie a lot of civilians with the cable guy skill, and the ones who you can't, you just kill them, bag them, and hide them in good places. Same thing applies to the guards. The Sixth Sense skill will help you a lot by detecting people around you, civilians and guards alike, when you're not moving or not doing anything for 3.5 seconds, and you also gain the access to all the insider assets, as well as the cleaning costs will go down by 75%, so highly recommend you to ace this skill. The basic level of it, you know, the highlighting of the guards, will come in handy when you're using the stealth saw, because the silent saw is not completely silent. It still has an 8.5 meter radius of noise where people will still hear it, but because the Sixth Sense has a 10 meter radius, you will be able to highlight everyone around you, and you will know whether your saw will alert people or not. I kind of worked my way from top to the bottom, but I just wanted to mention these skills first. Chameleon is pretty straightforward, and you will probably have to get it just to unlock all the other skills. The basic increases the time before you start getting detected by 25% while in casing mode. Not super crucial, but when it's on ace you can pick up items while in casing mode. You also gain 30% more value to items and cash that you pick up. Let's have a look at the Artful Dodger sub-tree. The first skill here, Duck and Cover, increases your stamina regeneration and increases the rates at which it will regenerate, and also increases your sprint speed. When you ace it, you will have a 10% increased chance to dodge while sprinting. You gain 15% chance to dodge while ziplining. You don't really need to get it on ace because in stealth we are not going to encounter that much combat. However, these skills here, the parkour, allows you to sprint in any direction, increases your movement and climbing speed, highly useful skill. Inner pockets increase the concealment of melee weapons by 2, and this will allow you to bring some of the melee weapons that you couldn't bring before and get the minimum detection risk. In the Silent Killer subtree, this skill has a marginal use, and basically it will only be handy when things go wrong, when guards start shooting at you. Once your armor breaks, once it goes down to 0, your speed will be increased by 30% for 5 seconds, and it will sometimes allow you to maybe escape to the vehicle or to the helicopter, wherever the escape is. So it does come in handy, but mostly when things go wrong. The next skill here is the Optical Illusions, and what it does is, on basic, you're 45% less likely to be targeted by enemies. Not that useful. However, when you ace it, you gain 1 concealment for each silenced weapon you equip, and it reduces the concealment penalty of silences by 2. So this will allow you to put on maybe bigger silencers that usually have a high concealment penalty, but without it, with this skill aced, you will be able to still equip them without that penalty. And as well as for any silenced pistol, or any silence weapon, you will get that 1% or 1 point of concealment bonus. Nothing much to get in the fugitive tree. The only skill that I want to get is the berserker, and once again this all ties in with using the stealth, the silent saw, and make sure you check that video out. It will help you a lot with using it. But very quickly about the berserker, whenever your health is below 50%, your melee damage and your saw damage, because the saw is considered to be a melee weapon, will be increased by 250%. And what it allows you to do is to open deposit boxes quicker. It allows you to save ammo, not just deposit boxes, doors, and pretty much anything you can saw with. It will increase the effectiveness of the saw against those things. This is it about the build. Let's look at the weapons really quickly. First of all, I'll look at the equipment. So once you have Jack of all trades equipped, you will be able to bring any equipment as a secondary and one bag of equipment as a primary. And when you have it as a primary, it works normal. However, when you equip things as secondary, so for example, if I can bring 2 ECMs with me, but because it's secondary, I will only be able to bring 1 ECM with me. And same will apply to body bags. Right now it's primary, it will be 2 body bags, but if I equip it as secondary, it will only be a single body bag. I bring a Molotov as a throwable. It is not the most stealth friendly weapon, so make sure you don't accidentally throw it. And you don't have to bring it, but it's an easiest way to get your health down below the 50% mark. In some heists where I know I'm not going to be using the saw, I would rather bring the shuriken, because there are cases where I want to kill a guard, but I don't want to boost them with the shotgun, and this is where the shuriken or the javelin or any throwable that's not going to explode will come in very handy. As a melee, you can once again bring anything. Just make sure that it has a concealment of 32. Remember that skill gets us 2 extra concealment, so make sure you bring the one with the highest concealment, just so that you can get the lowest detection risk possible. For the perk deck, the best choice for stealth is going to be the burglar perk deck, and it is available to you with the Clover pack DLC, Clover character pack. However, if you don't have that DLC, you can go with the crew chief. Crew chief is available to you in base game. It's not going to be as useful for stealth, but what it will do, it will increase your stamina. And this still will come in very handy, because in stealth oftentimes you have to run long distances in shadow raid, for example, or sometimes you need to run past the guards, and having a lot of stamina does come in very handy. There's only one weapon that I use as my secondary, and that's what I do my main killings with. The weapon that I use the most for killing in stealth is going to be the Judge, and it's available to... I'm not sure if it's available on consoles, but maybe the Locomotive shotgun is available to you. This gun is available to you when you join the Steam community group. In terms of the mods, I go with the standard buckshot, and I put a silencer on. This silencer has a little bit of a higher concealment penalty than this weapon does, and I could probably put it on and have 14 detection risk. But the problem with it is that when you aim down the sights, you can't really see what is in front of you. It is a little bit annoying, and people use mods to make the silencer look smaller. However, I don't think it's fair, it's more of a, I don't know, like a cheat, so I personally don't opt into it. I go for the Sh silencer. It is actually called Sh, and it increases the detection risk by 3 points, but that's alright for me. At least I can see what is in front of me when I'm aiming down the sights. The boost of choice is going to be the concealment boost. If you don't have access to it, it's not a big deal, but if you have it, make sure you put it on. It won't bring your concealment up a lot, only 1 point, but still it will be a significant amount. In terms of the gadgets, the compact laser module does not affect your concealment, so put that on if you have it. If you don't have it, don't put it on. I would advise against putting any other ones on because, of course, of the concealment penalty. Same thing applies to the sights. Most of them, if not all of them, will reduce your concealment, so I don't want to use them. And I probably could go with this silencer, and then I can put a scope on, but it just makes the weapon look very bulky. I like the way it looks right now. But once again, play around with it, make a weapon, mod the weapon to your own requirements. There are 2 options of the primary weapons that I will bring to the stealth heists. The first one is the silent saw, and I've got, once again, a concealment boost on it, the silent motor mod, and also the durable blade, which probably is more useful than the sharp blade because you have a little bit more total ammo, you have a larger magazine, and because of that berserker skill, your saw will be very strong. It will be able to open deposit boxes with one click instead of two. My other option that I will use when I don't use the saw is going to be the Valkyria rifle, available with the Sokol character pack item. So once again, if you don't have this DLC, you might have a look around, you might find something that will get you to 32 concealment, which is the maximum, I believe. For this particular weapon, I've got the prototype barrel on, concealment boost once again, nothing else apart from the compact laser module because it doesn't really have any penalty, but having a laser sometimes allows me to aim a little bit more precisely without having to look through the sights. Once again, no sight and no solid stock because the stock is going to have that concealment penalty rather than a bonus. And this is about it. This is not the best weapon. It doesn't have a very big magazine, only 20 bullets. It doesn't have great damage. It does not have great accuracy. However, I only mostly use it for opening doors. Like, you know, sometimes you can shoot through certain doors without having to lockpick them. And the reason that I do that is because I don't want to waste the judge ammo. The judge total ammo is not that great, so if you're careless with it, you might actually end up running out of ammo. So this is about it. I hope this video was useful to you. Make sure you share it with your friends if you did enjoy it, because good people need to watch good videos. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. And thank you very much for watching. I will see you later. Bye bye.